welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of March 13th to March 19th. This is a busy week in the astrology. We have 2 planets changing sign and 9 aspects going to be playing out throughout your week. Now, I'm going to say the theme for this week is going to be ego versus the soul. Now, the ego is our brain, keeping us safe, keeping us on the straight and narrow, trying to make sure that our body is safe, that we still, belong in society. And our soul has got a mission, right? It's our effervescent self. It's our unique individuality, bringing us into our own passion and purpose in this life. And the 2 work together, right? If we can create safety with our ego, we can create an amazing soul-filled, joyfully aligned life, right? But the 2 are not always designed to work that way, right? Our ego is trying to keep us safe in what is known, in the past, in our experiences that we have already come through, right? Think of the ego as programmed with or an echo of the past, whereas our soul is visionary, it's future looking, it's kind of got this compass inside itself that's ready to kind of take you on this journey. And the ego is going, but wait, we've never done this before, right? So that's going to come up this week. So this is going to be a great week to be poked, to be, inspired by your wounds that are coming up, and to be aware of what's happening here, because the outside world is going to trigger you this week, and we want to be aware of what's happening inside. So we start off this week with the 3rd quarter phase of the moon, meaning the moon is losing light. That's also going to add some flavor, some spice this week, because in the balsamic phase of the moon, we are now gleaning the lesson. We are understanding, what have we learned? What have we come through? Why have we gone through what we went through? We're releasing things that are no longer serving us in this stage of the moon now, because we just came through that full moon in Virgo. So now, as we are making our way to the new moon in Aries next week, this is going to be a time of release. And let me tell you, there's going to be a lot of releasing for us to release. So as we come into our first aspect of the week, which is Tuesday, March 14th, we have Mars square to Neptune. Now, Mars square anything is frustration, right? Mars is our egoic will. It's wanting to move forward, and it's in Gemini still, in Gemini. It's going to move out of Gemini and Cancer at some point soon, but it's still in Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. It's about intellect, ideas, inspiration, connection, curiosity. And in a square to other planets, it can feel like our egoic will is blocked. We are not able to move forward in the way that we desire. So when we have a Mars square to Neptune, Neptune is the fog. It's our spirituality, intuition, connection to the divine, empathic, compassion. It's kind of this like foggy nature. So this can feel like deception. This can feel like we don't really know where to go or why, but we just know that we can't go, right? So this can be confusion. And Neptune square Mars is very diffusing in our energy, right? We might not, or actually I'm going to say you're probably going to feel really tired on this day, because these 2 things they don't like working together, right? Neptune is about spirituality and oneness, and Mars is like, let's go, competition, let's get things going. And in Gemini, it wants to learn, it wants to go in its places. It doesn't want to be bound. It's an immutable air sign, right? And this is feeling like, I can't get anywhere. So you might feel very frustrated on Tuesday. You can also feel discouraged, low energy. This energy is also kind of suspicion or scandal. We don't really know what's happening, right? So we only know, let's say someone says to you, no, whatever it is, no. And you're like, why? And you start to make up things in your mind, right? When we're in mystery, we start to create the story in our own mind. And that is Mars square to Neptune. So on this day and this whole week, I'm going to encourage you not to jump to assumptions, to ask good questions in a way that doesn't feel offensive or challenging, just kind of fact-finding to understand why. And if you don't know the whole story, then I want you to think the best. I want you to assume the best until someone shows you or evidence shows you that it is not the best. Right? If you see people whispering and they're looking at you, do you assume that they're talking about you? And what if they say your name? I'm like, they're talking about me. They must like my hair, right? There's a time in my life when I would have been like, oh my God, they think I'm fat. right? Because that time was poking at a core wound that I had of not feeling enough, of not measuring up, right? Now I assume the best. Are they talking about my hair? Maybe they're not talking about, maybe they recognize me from somewhere. I'm going to assume the best. Who cares? Who cares if I'm wrong? I don't care, right? I mean, really, what is it? It has nothing to do with me. You create your world. If they are talking bad about me, whatever. I don't care, right? I don't know who they are. It's better to think, oh, they must like my hair. I like my hair today too. So think the best, right? And if you're jumping to conclusions, you are in the energy of Mars squared to Neptune. You don't know what's happening and you're making up stories that are not actually in alignment. And the fact of the matter is that is a trauma response to trying to keep yourself safe. So if you jump to conclusions that are not in your favor, why? What happened? What made you like that? Because I guarantee you, no baby's born jumping to conclusions like, oh my God, they're looking at me weird. They must not like me, right? So where did that come up? This also can be an emotional day where you're triggered. And let me say it's going to go through the whole week because Mars is squaring everything this week. So we're not everything, but there's going to be a lot. Wednesday, March 15th, we have the Sun conjunct to Neptune. So conjunction means they work together as a team. And the Sun is in Pisces and Neptune is in Pisces. So with the Sun conjunct to Neptune, this is a very spiritual day. This is a way, this whole week. And again, remember when I said ego is soul, right? We have this Piscean energy of like one love and connection to the divine, intuition, empathy, emotions, flow state, water, right? Let me just kind of float around in this watery, loving energy and have this life. And the universe is going, but you have responsibilities. You have an ego that's trying to keep you in the safe and known. You're trying to heal ancestral trauma, right? All of these things are going to come up this week. So this Sun conjunct to Neptune is giving you a gift of heightened intuition, tapping into that knowing. Pull a card for yourself this week, every day this week. Set an intention when you wake up. Meditate. Ground yourself into who you know you are and tap into that soul wisdom so that when the outside world starts calling and starts tapping, going, are you sure? Are you sure you think your hair is so pretty? You're going to be like, yeah, I like it. I like it right now. Whatever, right? Who cares what you think? Can you come into that place? So this Sun conjunct to Neptune, meditation, spiritual, psychic, empathic, very compassionate, idealistic, and love. This can be very idealistic energy where you just see everything with rose-colored glasses, right? With Mercury also in Neptune and just this, or sorry, Mercury also in Pisces, we can also feel like everything is lovely and we're disconnected from facts. And then this is where we can become disillusioned, right? So the downside of this is confusion, disillusioned, no boundaries, right? Well, Pisces is just water that goes wherever it wants. So there's no boundaries. We take on a lot of things that don't belong to us. Feeling emotions that don't belong to us. If somebody walks in a room and they don't like us and we feel that emotion and we're taking in ourselves and now it's bringing you down, right? What someone thinks of you is none of your business. I know you've heard that before. I'm going to say it this week. It's going to be super important. What someone thinks of you is none of your business. That is how they are reacting to you because you are poking a trigger for them. That's it. They have no reason. Someone could walk into a room and go, I can't believe she wears red lipstick. I'm like, yeah, because I'm a bad bitch. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. That's me. It has nothing to do with anyone else, right? And if someone doesn't like that, whatever. It has nothing to do with me, right? Think about that. So avoid scandal, slander, and secrets. Big this week because Mercury is squaring a whole bunch of stuff and this Neptune and Pisces energy. Be careful who you talk to, what you say. Keep your thoughts good, keep your words pure, and make sure that you are bringing love wherever you go and seeing people for their wounds. If you're starting to talk at a school, it is going to come back again when Mercury goes retrograde. I'm telling you right now. So watch what you say. Thursday, March 16th, we have 4 aspects on this day. So we have Mercury conjunct to Neptune. This is giving us heightened intuition, heightened creativity, imagination, meditation, all these lovely things. You're going to do that this week. You'll get amazing downloads. Mercury is conjunct to Neptune and Sun conjunct to Neptune are really great for dream dream journeys, dream time processing. So if you're getting dreams, you might have very vivid dreams this week, write them down. Have a journal beside your bed. As soon as you wake up, write it down. It is part of the subconscious coming to consciousness. And that's why we forget it as we wake up. That's why we forget as our day goes on. It has to be a super profound dream for you to remember it, number one. And for you to remember it throughout the day, that's a really potent dream. There are messages in your dreams. Pay attention. Okay. Now, on this day, we also have Sun square to Mars and Venus square to Pluto. So Sun square Mars is, again, our egoic will is blocked. Remember what I said, anything square Mars feels like frustration. We're not moving forward. So our Sun is our identity, our vitality. It's how we feel about ourselves. And when we can't move forward with our egoic will, we are blocked, right? We feel annoyed. Significant change is possible now. This is a lot of passion. So if you channel this into sex or positive endeavors, it is a great week for that. But you can feel frustrated, angry. This is a good energy to work out and discharge this energy. This energy is pent up and it doesn't have anywhere to go. That's a square, right? So a good workout on this day, actually this whole week, is going to be a really good idea because it's going to be forming and then separating. So it's going to be in effect all week. So, and that's part of your ego, right? The Mars is ego, where we're feeling like, why can't I move forward? Or why don't they like me? Or what, about me. Ego is concerned with safety. So it's always about, why don't they like me? Why is it never good enough, right? And this can also be a conflict with people in power as well. So because it's a Capricorn 29, that's what's going to happen on the next one I'm going to talk about. But there can be this kind of power figures in here. A test of character, be careful about being impulsive and reckless this week, but especially on the Mars square day. So really like every day. So because Mars rules cars, and Mercury rules transportation and the way that we go. So it's our coordination, right? It's movement is Mercury. So when Mercury is square to Mars, we are going to, did I already say that? It's going to happen on Friday, but the Sun is square to Mars here. There is a kind of a conflict between these two energies working together. So this can be a heightened propensity for car accidents because we're being impulsive and we're not watching where we're going and how we're going. And there's also a higher propensity to hurt yourself. So, stubbing your toes, stubbing your elbows, knocking yourself on walls, things like that. You're just not very coordinated right now. Falling downstairs. So being super careful this week, okay? Just being really deliberate in your actions. And if you're late, then be late. Be late. Right? Just call and say, I'm running behind. My astrologer said not to rush today. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Done. Everything would be better if he just said, my astrologer said, done, right? So yeah, be careful this week. Now, Venus square to Pluto is also on this day. Venus is what we love and value, and Pluto is death, rebirth, and transformation. It is very intense, right? So when we have Venus, which is our relationships, our connection to money, to beauty, to aesthetics, and the square to Pluto, this is an intense time for relationships. Now, again, with this Mars square, the Sun energy, this could be passion, great sex, if that's something that's interesting to you. But we have Venus at 29 degrees of Aries and Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. This is intense, okay? So here's some manifestations of this. Social and romantic relationships get a shakeup or a wake-up call. You start to see where maybe things in relationships around you aren't actually serving you, right? There's a death or rebirth in relationships, transformation through relationships. We also, where do you feel not seen or heard? Where do you not feel safe? So if you're going out on any dates this week, I'm just going to say, make sure that you are in a public place and that you're not doing anything, especially with new people that you just meet in kind of closed quarters where people can't see you, or not safeness. This can be kind of some intense trauma. So being careful with who you're meeting and where you are. This can be issues with power and control and manipulation in relationships. This can also bring up jealousy and sort of manipulation, as I mentioned. So being really aware of these feelings as they're coming up for you. Now, the other thing is deeply buried roots of fear and insecurity can come up today as well, probably will come up today. Pluto also rules by nature ancestral trauma. And Venus squared to Pluto might be bringing up where you have roots of trauma from ancestors or family that are coming up in your current day relationships. So you're going to start to see, and maybe potentially on this day, there are going to be cycles in play that you might not even know that you're part of. But today it's going to become very apparent to you, if you are conscious and you watch this video, of like, how is this playing out for me to learn? Where is this coming from in my family? I just had a client session today where we were talking about her relationship to her mom, and then where her mom got this from, and then her mom got that from, and her mom got that from. And it's just this cycle upon cycle of all the women in her family having terrible relationships with their moms because they themselves are either rescuers or victims in these relationships. And they play this dynamic of rescuer, victim all up the line. They've learned it. And so here's an opportunity for her to change it in her life and heal this ancestral trauma, ancestral cycle that continues to keep people in roles that are not actually serving anybody. Right. So interesting. So that might come up for you today. The other thing is Venus rules our money. So to have Venus square to Pluto right before it transitions into Taurus, which is about money, is going to be bringing up where you maybe abdicate your authority or how you feel about money or money trauma. That's a big one. It's going to come up on this day. I have class around money trauma coming up that's starting this week on the 13th. So if that's something that's interesting to you, message me. But man, we all come into money beliefs that we've kind of taken on from our family, and then they play themselves out in our life, going, why the hell is this happening with my money? Where did it come from? Where'd you get it? So on this day as well is a Venus going into Taurus. Now, Venus going into Taurus is about, we are moving from passionate Aries to sensual Taurus, right? Aries is impulsive. Taurus takes its time. So when Venus moves into Taurus, now the things that you want to spend your money on and invest your time in is going to last the test of time. It's going to be secure and safe. Right. And we want sensuality, and we want to be given things that really reflect us, truly reflect us. Taurus's love language is authentic gifts, meaningful gifts that are kind of came from their heart. Right. And that are useful, not just gifts, right? Useful gifts that are going to last the test of time. Tangible, physical expressions of love, passionate. They are very caring and nurturing by nature. We want practical advice. We want practical things in our life for solutions. We seek safety and security, and we want to buy high quality things that last the test of time. So the downside is Taurus is slower in terms of making decisions. They don't move fast on things, and they can be possessive because when something is theirs, it's theirs for life. Right. So the possessiveness can come up with Taurus as well. And then their own relationship with stuff, with material, with money, right? How do they feel about that? And that's going to come up for you as we move into Venus into Taurus. Now, Friday, March 17th, still not at the weekend yet. Friday, March 17th, we have Mercury square to Mars. So Mercury is our mind, our coordination, our thought processing. Remember, Mars is our egoic will. It's our passion, our drive, our motivation. It's the way we move forward in the world. So here's another square to Mars this week. And Mercury is our head, and Mars is our motivation or desire to move forward. So we literally feel frustrated that our beliefs, that what we're saying isn't being received, right? This is a communication thing because Mercury is in Pisces and Mars is in Gemini. Pisces, there's sort of our downloads aren't being received, right? People are thinking that we're rushed, right? We want to just get things going. This is very impulsive energy. So seek professional guidance if you're making any big decisions on this day, especially with legal, with signing documents. This energy makes us, especially with this Neptune energy coming in here to Mars square to Neptune and Mercury square to Mars. This is not a time to make decisions quickly. Okay, take time, take a few days, seek out counsel, especially professional or legal counsel if you're signing any big papers on things, and really make sure that your finances are in order, because that Venus square to Pluto is going to bring you up some harsh realities if it's not, right? So just being really cautious this week. Mercury square to Mars is rush thinking, can be aggressive, can be jumping to conclusions, which, hello, that's been a playing all month, all week, because of Mercury conjunct to Neptune. So conclusions, you can feel irritable and short-tempered. People around you can be short-tempered right now too. Cars is also part of this. Mars rules cars, remember, and Mercury is our coordination. So being careful with how you're driving. If you're late, I'm running 15 minutes behind, I'll see you when I see you, taking your time going downstairs, being deliberate with your actions. Very important on Friday. Also, communications are going to be a little messed up on Friday. So if you're doing Zoom, if you're doing a big conference, just expect a little bit of, in your schedule. Packing a lot of patience on this day. And you really want to listen before you speak on this day and this whole week, right? Listen before you speak. Stop, observe, discern, and then act. You always want to discern, act in according to accountability. Be accountable for what you're feeling, how you're feeling it. And you notice that other people will be reacting this week. It's a very triggering week. Just be aware of that. If you have your own center, you're meditating, you're being in your own intuition, you're feeling what other people are feeling with boundaries, you'll understand why they're reacting the way they are. And it's not about you, right? It's really not. So sleep on important details and contracts. Listen before you speak. Now, on this day as well, we have the Sun is coming to conjunct Mercury, because they're kind of been planned together very closely, and now they've come to sit on the same degree in Pisces, the last degrees of Pisces before they both move into Aries. Oh, yeah. Right. Pisces is my opposite sign. So every time we're in Pisces season, I'm literally like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Right? It's the way of it. It always is. So Mercury, oh my gosh, what I want to say is the Sun conjunct to Mercury in Pisces is going to make us very sensitive, very emotional, very intuitive, very, we're getting downloads like crazy because our mind and who we feel we are come together. So, great interactions, writing, talking, debating, quick thinking, curiosity. But remember, there's a square to Mars in play here. So yes, we're quick thinking, but if we're quick thinking and then we're impulsive and we're saying things and we're doing things, we're not very coordinated and it's not going to turn out well. So this is very creative energy. It's in Pisces. Great for playing music, for writing, for flowing with creating, painting, doing anything that really kind of tickles your creative bone. Good idea today. And then on this day as well, we have Venus sextile to Saturn. So Venus is what we love and value, our money, and Saturn is about responsibility. So this is a great day to make a budget and to really figure out where your money is going and how you're spending it. Also understanding your practical relationships and where you stand with what you do for other people, and does that feel aligned to you? You want companionship, you want to feel loved, and you need reassurance and commitment. So this can make you feel a little needy. And with that Venus square to Pluto and Mercury square to Mars, this week might make you feel really needy, where your partner's like, get away from me. Or you are feeling that your partner's like clingy and you're like, get away from me. So just notice those relationship themes that are coming up this week. Saturday, March 18th, we have Mercury square to Pluto. Mercury sextile to Pluto. This is a great day for thinking out of the box, coming up with solutions that are going to be like groundbreaking, intense thinking, studying, research, uncovering the truth, deep spiritual insights, personal experiences, oh, sorry, that's the next day. Healing ancestral trauma. So all the things that are happening to you this week, now you're like, oh, and you hear about like Grandma Joan and what she did and how she had to come through the Irish famine. And that's why everybody hates their bodies, because when they started to gain weight, people thought that was bad. And, oh, you're wasting food and blah, 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 whatever it is. You're going to start to hear these little nuggets of wisdom that are coming up. This Mercury square or sextile to Pluto is going to bring that up. This is also great for learning astrology, going deep into psychology, being persuasive. This is a powerful mind, and beware of fixating on things where you just can't stop thinking. Overthinking. Overthinking is a trauma response to not feeling prepared in earlier life. So you try to think your way around every possible scenario, and then you now have used a lot of energy and time for something that's never going to happen. Overthinking is a trauma response. And then Sunday, March 19th, we have Mercury moving into Aries. So we're getting out of this Pisces energy, right? So this Mercury in Aries is now very bold, courageous, pioneering. It's thinking up ideas and inspired for things that do not exist, right? Or maybe it wants to blaze its own trail. So if you've been having these feelings, Mercury is going to come in here and go, come on, let's go. We need to get going here. So we want to reach a decision quickly, pioneering, bold, courageous. If you're impatient with decisions, your personal experience is more important than being explained things. So with Aries, they like to experience and they learn from the knowledge of their experience versus someone saying to them, don't do that. And they're like, I'm going to do it. Right? If you have that, there's some boldness in you. That's actually part of human design as well. One of the lines in human design. So mental competitiveness, they're definitely direct and straightforward. And there's a bluntness about Mercury in Aries, where you just say things as it is, right? I always say with Aries, either you're on the bus or you're under the bus. They have a mission, they are focused, and they want to go, right? They're not interested in your opinions about it. So with Mercury in Aries, we can feel this kind of bluntness, this impulsivity. Be careful not to jump to conclusions, not to speak so fast that you then are going, oh, what did I say? Why did I say that? Right? That can happen as well. So this is setting us up now for this Aries energy. The sun will move into Aries on the 20th, I believe. That's the new, the equinox, the spring equinox, and the new year in astrology when the sun moves into Aries. And we also will have a new moon on Monday. The sun will move, yes, on the 20th, and then the new moon in Aries at the 0 degree mark of Aries on Tuesday. So we've got a busy week next week with more Aries energy coming in. Yes, to that, right? I love my Pisces sisters and brothers out there, and this Pisces energy is killing this Virgo. Like I need some fire. I need some fire to get going on things. So this week, be careful with impulsivity, ground yourself, don't jump to conclusions, right? And give yourself the time to understand the situation, okay? Don't jump to conclusions. Don't go fast. Don't be driving fast in your car because things are going to not play out so well, all right? You're going to navigate this week. You got the weather report. Go be prepared. Go forth with grace and understanding that you are prepared for all of this. Astrology works, y'all. Have a great week. Bye.